Hey everyone, it's 10 Types in the Mega Era of the Pokemon TCG is here. Well, here, not actually here for me, I'm in the United States, but it's out in Japan, and we've seen a lot of reveals internationally as well. We've seen reveals from actually the first two, I believe three actually sets, because the Mega Dragonite EX, I believe, is in the third set of the Mega Era. Not entirely sure of that, but regardless, we've seen some Mega Era cards revealed, and you've also really enjoyed me talking about it. I'm not gonna lie, I'm kind of running low on ideas for the Mega Evolutions stuff because we've seen some stuff from it, but we haven't seen, we've seen a set or two sets in Japan and a little bit more. So comment down below if you have other ideas. I think I might do a GLC review for the set because there are some pretty cool GLC cards for the set, which I don't think I've talked about yet. But today I'm going to be going over some decks that are currently out and new additions from the Mega Era. So I want to take a look at them because this is pretty interesting. If you're talking about just brand new decks, there's a lot of speculation. Obviously, you can like test beforehand, and there's lots of things you can do. But ultimately, there's some amount of unknown. But there's less unknown when you're talking about already established decks. And so I'm going to talk about decks that are gaining a few new pieces because especially this set has a lot of very good trainers in it. Again, I've said this before. I'm not really going to be talking about Lily's determination. These are also decks I haven't talked about too much. There are some decks that are getting really obvious upgrades, and some types as a whole. These are more niche upgrades, I guess. You'll kind of see what I mean. Also, make sure you like, subscribe before we hop into things. Also, I am messing with my audio, so hopefully that's fine. I just messed with it a tiny bit. Shouldn't really be different. But there is some like weird cutting out that's happening occasionally. So I am trying to fix that. But what? Oh, okay. I think I did my search settings wrong in Limitless here. I need to fix. There we go. But anyways, I am looking here on Pokemon Book. I'm not gonna lie, the images are kind of bad. Yeah, so that is what it is. It's a Japanese website. It's the best place for these lists, as far as I'm aware. There are some on Limitless. Limitless is a really nice place to use, but I mean, they don't really have Japanese tournaments. Here in Pokemon Book, they do, and so it's really nice for looking at lists here. But again, they are blurry. These are zoomed in. This is the regular zoom level, which is still a little blurry, but then you zoom in more and it's a little more. Regardless, this is the first deck, which is Mega Electric EX. Not going to talk about it too much. I have like five, I think, main decks. Not really sure. But this one is not one of those. Mega Electric EX is good or solid. I don't think, if you know me, I'm a little lower on it than average. Not that much lower, but just a little bit. Let's see a little higher on other things as well. That being said, it's like mostly a new deck, right? Because the main attacker here, I think, is Mega Electric EX, but it's still like Electric Box with Miraidon EX and Iron Hands EX, an Electric Generator. So it's similar to the Lightning Box decks we've seen. Mega Electric EX is a nice piece as it can wall basics and do big damage. It is a three prizer. If you're not familiar with the Megas, they are three prize Pokemon. And yeah, that's it. That's about all there is to them. There are obviously differences on individual cards, and on top of that, they work the same as regular EXs in Pokemon in terms of evolution. But again, it's the fact that they're three prizers, and yeah, I think Mega Electric EX slots pretty well into Lightning Box. I know some people have been playing it completely separately. In Japan, I do like it more within Lightning Box, so I think it's a decent card. I don't think it's insane, but I think it, is another piece within a deck that's okay. Also, speaking of Lightning Box, there are, I guess, two builds. I don't know. People call the decks different names. The one deck is generally called Joltik Box, and that's a toolbox deck. It's a box deck, and it uses mostly lightning Pokemon, so you could call that Lightning Box. Also, it's played more than Miraidon, which is also Lightning Box. But yeah, Miraidon EX, or no, Manectric EX, Mega Manectric EX does not really fit in that because of its attack cost being all lightning here. I'll go into more details on the other cards so that I'm going to focus more time on. Then we have the next deck here. This is one that I'm also not going to spend too much time on, honestly, because I've talked about it already a lot. I really like this deck, but I'm a bit of a glazer of this deck. But it's Cynthia's Garchomp EX. I do like this deck. It's probably my favorite or second favorite deck in Standard right now, pre-Megas. Not as in the best or second best deck, but it's the one I enjoy playing the most. I do think it is a decent deck, and it's getting some nice additions here, and Fighting type in general is getting nice additions as well. Cynthia's Garchomp EX, I think, is the main Fighting deck getting additions here, though the Mega Lucario EX deck is obviously that's a fighting type deck, and these cards are made for it. But anyways, you have some search options and some damage boosts. Also within Cynthia's, you play Grass Evolution, so Vitality Force, I think is the translation, is good here. Also, do see the new supporter Lily's Determination, Shuffle Draw 8 at the beginning of the game, or Shuffle Draw 6 later. It's very good. Ultimately, I do believe this deck is getting a lot better with the new set. That being said, I don't know. I don't want to talk about it too much in today's video. I imagine people are kind of sick of me hearing it. I don't know. But then we have the next deck. This one, if you're sick of hearing about anything, it's probably this deck. It's Gardevoir. I'm not going to spend too much time on this deck either, because this one is like not really new. There are some different builds as well. I don't know if different builds are the right term, but different counts of Mega Gardevoir EX. Mega Gardevoir EX, if you're not familiar, it would be really good if I had an English version of this because it's one of the cards revealed in English. But anyways, you have two attacks, but the one you want to focus on here is the one that does 50 damage for Psychic Energy attached to all your Pokemon. Of course, Gardevoir EX, if you're not familiar, well, one, it's Gardevoir, and Mega Gardevoir EX is also Gardevoir, so they evolve from the same evolution line. And then also the Gardevoir EX accelerates energy to your board, and Mega Gardevoir EX does damage based on that energy, so it's perfect synergy there. That being said, this Pokemon, I mean, it's like kind of tanky, but it's not insanely tanky, and there are some Darkness Pokemon in the game that are decent, so you will be being one-shotted um, those. I guess not necessarily by N's Zoroark EX. N's Reshiram does, I believe, 170, so double that is 340. So you might survive that. You might have damage counters on you as well. It kind of depends, but presumably you'll be able to get them off with Munkidori. Regardless, it's definitely an interesting option within the deck, and some lists are choosing to lean into it really heavily. This list we see a Drifloon and a Screamtail, a bunch of Munkidoris and Mew EX as well. So different Psychic Pokemon, but you obviously need a bunch of Psychic Pokemon for Mega Gardevoir EX itself as well. Or you might. It's definitely a good option there. But some decks are leaning even more heavily into it. There is also the Kirlia and the Raltsite. Don't remember. I think they have like setup attacks. They're okay. They are improvements for their deck. They're not big improvements to the deck, but they are. I mean, they are improvements. I think they're just objectively good for the deck, better than the previous ones. And then we also have the really, really powerful stadium card, Mystery Garden, I believe is the name of it. And it says that once during your turn, you can discard an energy from your hand of any type. So Gardevoir EX is playing energies of different types here. Notably, the Darkness energies obviously aren't psychic, and they're important to the deck. And then you discard that and draw until you have as many cards in hand as you have Psychic Pokemon in play. Pretty much all your Pokemon are Psychic Pokemon, and then you are playing energies of different types. So it does work really well for Gardevoir EX. It definitely feels like a card made for Gardevoir EX. I've heard some complaints about Gardevoir. I mean, Gardevoir's good. Definitely, I'm not sitting here denying that. I don't think it's like all-time dominant. I think it's like Yami won the World Championship Masters division. It's been very good for a long time as well. So I think people are getting fatigued of that a little bit. I think it's like, I get why people are a little annoyed about this card, and I'm not gonna lie, I kind of agree. This card's very strong. It's really mostly good for one deck. I mean, it's good for any Psychic deck as well. I don't think we're talking about it today, like in depth, but there is a Goldengo EX list I saw that did play Mystery Garden, which is pretty interesting. Seems like kind of bad. I'm not gonna lie, because like how many Psychic Pokemon are you actually gonna have in play? I've actually been playing Goldengo EX a lot. Goldengo EX is very good, and I enjoy it. And it's a deck that I'm using in Pokemon TCG Live because it actually accomplishes the challenge of playing Psychic Pokemon because the Gimmigholes are Psychic. That being said, you want a lot of Goldengo EX in play, probably a Genesect EX, and I don't think you're playing another Psychic Pokemon unless I'm forgetting something. But anyways, Mystery Garden, really, really good stadium here for Psychic decks. I did make a video just going over type-specific cards. The best ones, I think, are Mystery Garden, and then the fighting ones, which I talked about earlier. But yeah, they're good, but they're mostly good for specific decks. Mystery Garden, again, is very good for mostly Gardevoir, and Gardevoir has just a bunch of improvements here. Then we have the next deck here. This one's really interesting and the one that inspired me to make this video. And this is Ceruledge EX. If you're not familiar, Ceruledge just does damage based on energy in your discard pile, and it's only one energy, one fire here. Of course, you need the fire energy to attack, but then you can use any other type. So Ceruledge EX has been played in some different ways. I don't remember how good Ceruledge EX exactly has been. I mean, there's not like a set number. Also, what someone played it with Joltik Box. Anyways, I'm getting distracted as I do with these videos. But anyways, Ceruledge EX has been okay. Honestly, I don't think made this comparison yet. But in terms of power level, I think a lot of the Megas are a similar power level to Ceruledge EX, which is okay. Definitely decent, not bad, but not true top decks either. I'd say Goldengo also was like that way for a while until it like really broke out. I mean, right now it's really good with Black Bolt or no White Flare. I don't know which set that's not. Oh, yeah, this is current Goldengo. So yeah, with Black Bolt, Genesect EX, and Air Balloon, which is also from Black Bolt, are super good for the deck. But before that, it was like I mean, it was good, but anyways, yeah, Stereolite GX is doing damage based on energy in the discard, wants more ways to get energy in the discard, and we do have a new way here with fighting energy, as we see. And I said fighting's better, which it is. You could play the item Fighting Gong. I don't know if people are playing that, but it is playing the Lunatone, which says you can discard a fighting energy from your hand to draw 3 cards if you have Solvark in play. Solvark can also do 70 for 1 if you have a Lunatone in play, which is okay, I guess. Not super easy to get into the active because you have Jet Energy to switch, but you also need the fighting energy on it. So it's not super easy, and it's not like super strong either. And I don't believe it hits weakness either, or resistance, which like not hitting resistance is good, but obviously not hitting weakness is bad. But anyways, it's a card that is like okay there. But the Lunatone, discarding 1, drawing 3 is very good if you're familiar with the card Radiant Greninja, which rotated last rotation, which was 6 months ago. I don't know if those numbers are right, but anyways, it rotated recently-ish, and it's a card that was very good. It discarded energy from your hand to draw 3 cards, or no, sorry, draw 2 cards, but it was any type, and it worked, in any deck, and didn't need another Pokemon in play. It was a Radiant one of, but like it wasn't really an issue there. I mean, if you had more, it would have been better, but being a one of did not make it a bad card. Anyways, that card was very good. And this card draws more. Lunatone draws more. You do another Pokemon. It takes up more bench space. Stereolite GX is a deck that is pretty simple and straightforward. I mean, it plays a lot of energies that like takes up a lot of space, so you don't have as much room for other cards. You're not going to be filling up your bench with other cards. We also see, speaking of bench space, I'd say a bigger issue for bench space would be the Drillbur. Drillbur is a card that allows you to search your deck for up to 3 basic fighting energies, discard them, and then you shuffle. So that's like pretty cool here. It's been played in yeah, I guess Sterilage some, and that's about it. And and with Excadrill, no, that's Excadrill. Just yeah, there we go. Sorry, with Garchomp EX, which like isn't so good. But anyways, it's like okay with Sterilage, but it's not amazing. But now it fits nicely in here because you have a reason to be playing fighting energies. And Sterilage EX having a draw engine is really nice here. Sterilage isn't the highest ceiling deck. I feel like it's relatively straightforward, and it can only do so much. You do have access to the supporter card Briar, which allows you to take an extra prize if your opponent has exactly 2 prizes remaining, right? On knockout with a Terra Pokemon, if you take a knockout with your Terra Pokemon, on your opponent's active. So that's like good. It's somewhat situational, but can lead to comebacks. So that is, I often compare this deck to Gholdengo EX. Obviously, Gholdengo a lot stronger in standard. Briar, I'd say, is the main advantage it has over Gholdengo, in my opinion. Gholdengo is also pretty linear. They do have room for different options, though, and I really do like the fighting package. In this, the fighting package I just think is super good, specifically Lunatone. It's very good. Obviously, the other fighting support like isn't so good because your main attacker isn't fighting, but drawing more cards throughout the course of the game is very important, and this is going to be drawing a lot of cards here. Then we have the next deck. This one is very different. Honestly, this deck's super weird, but this plays the new... Is that Alakazam new? I think the Alakazam is new. But then it's Alakazam EX. If you're not familiar with Alakazam EX, Alakazam EX allows you to attack from the bench, and then you do 120, which like isn't that good. I'm not gonna lie. It's like a cool card. It's a really unique card. It has not seen that much play though. I think some people kind of thought it might break the game because of some weird interaction, but that hasn't happened. I don't think there are, unless I'm missing something, which comment down below if I am. I don't think there are any super weird interactions with Alakazam EX. There might be some that are a little funky, but I don't think there's anything like crazy or game breaking that could happen. You'd need to go out of your way at least to make it happen, but I haven't heard of anything like that. Generally, you want to sit behind a wall. We see some different ones. We see Mimikyu, Klefki, Team Rocket, Arbok. If you're not familiar with that, you got ability lock and walling and stuff. It's walls, right? But then you have the new Kadabra, which is super good. Also, new Alakazam, I'll mention. I don't remember how much it does. I think it's 20 for each card in your hand, or 2 damage counters. Yeah, for each card in your hand. And then you draw 3 when you play it from your hand to evolve one of your Pokemon. And that's the same thing for the Kadabra here. Well, no, it's not the same. It's like similar. You draw 2. So you draw cards here. It's pretty nice here. We still see Rare Candy, but only 1 copy. Obviously, drawing cards is nice, and you also have a bunch of time. So it's a pretty slow draw engine. It's not really like a draw engine, honestly. It's pretty terrible as that. But it adds depth to the deck. It's not Kirlia levels of draw or Dracloak, right? Kirlia rotated. But, it's a deck that could take, honestly, all the help they can get because it's not super strong, and it adds a little extra. So it's decent here. It's not a crazy addition, but it's pretty good here. Definitely a fun little addition. don't know how meaningful it is, but it is fun. I think the Kadabra, I mean, fun previous evolutions are just, in my opinion, always pretty cool here. Then we have the next deck. This deck isn't getting a huge buff outside of one card. I mean, Lilith's Determination's good. But this is Slowking, which copies the top card of your deck's attack. You like discard it, and then you use it. You don't need the attack cost of the other card, like Hiram's 5 energy, probably, and then Slowking's just 2, so you only need the 2 energies there, and then it doesn't care about the stage either. And then you also you need the energy you need on top of your deck as well. So previously you'd play Academy at Night, which you're still playing, as well as I believe Cypher Maniac's Codebreaking, which is pretty bad in the deck. I mean, it's not bad, but it's also not. Um, I mean, you need to use it to get like the card on top of your deck to attack. So if you're familiar with Cypher Maniac's Codebreaking, not in this deck, you're probably familiar with it in Goldengo, where it allows you to search for anything, which is like really good. But you can't use it to draw those cards now because if you draw one, then you draw both because you draw 2 at a time with Xadu here. And then if you do that, then you don't have your deck stacked with the card you need to use with Slowking. So it's really clunky here. But now we have a new card, which is the new, what Pokemon is this? Gumshoos? Yeah, Gumshoos, which says you can switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. And this is actually really useful and versatile for a bunch of different things. This was originally, I don't know if originally, but the card I'm familiar with is the Oranguru. I'm pretty sure this can't be the original, but Oranguru here lets you swap a card. I mean, it's the same thing, right? You switch a card from your hand with the top card of your deck. A different ability name, but same text. I'm pretty sure translated the same, at least on Limitless here. And yeah, it was very good in a wide variety of decks. You can see it's been played a lot here. And yeah, it was good for a bunch of different things. One was like the same thing where you can put a certain card on top of your deck to combo with something. Like here, so Slowking, there was previously Zacian V, and I'm sure there's some other things as well. They are somewhat niche, but they are meaningful here, and it's very meaningful for Slowking. Obviously, being in a basic on Oranguru is better than a stage 1 on Gumshoos. I mean, Oranguru has more HP and a better attack. I don't know if it has a better attack, but it has more HP, and it's a basic. But Gumshoos is still going to be nice for that. Also, it does allow you to save resources if you want to use something like Professor's Research. Also, if you're going to get Iono, you can put a card on top of your deck. Then you won't lose it. In the case of Professor's Research, if you don't put it on top, you're going to lose it permanently, like Max Rod here, your ace spec, or if it's something like if you're playing against Iono. That being said, there are other ways of hand disruption, and also like Liz's Determination is a shuffle draw. So if you put a card on top of your deck, then it doesn't matter. It'll just get shuffled. But with Iono, then you'll know that your opponent, you'll still draw it, even if your opponent Ionos. And if they don't Iono, you'll still draw it because it's on top of your deck. So you'll either top deck it or have it in your hand when they Iono you. They could like unfair stamp, but it is good against Iono. It's good against, it helps you save stuff. It also does let you see an extra card on your turn. It swaps it, unlike Academy at Night or Cypher Maniac's Codebreaking. Those cards just go on top of your deck. So, Academy at Night actually strings to your hand there. But no, this keeps your hand size the same and allows you to see an extra card. It's not really drawing an extra card each turn, but it kind of is. It's definitely a really nice card here. Gumshoos is actually a really cool card that I don't think will really end up seeing serious play, but I do think it has the potential to. Maybe. I don't know. It seems unlikely because it's a stage 1 here. Oranguru was a good card. It was very versatile, but it wasn't super, like, powerful. I said all those different things, but they're all pretty situational outside of, a deck that, like, really wants it, like Slowking. But definitely a fun card here that I've honestly wanted to talk about. As I said, I just think it's a little weak on a stage 1, but very cool here as well. Then we have the last deck. This one's pretty fun. This is Hydrapple EX, which just does damage based on grass energies in play. Then you have Teal Mask Agropon EX and Hydrapple EX to get grass energies onto your board, which are okay. They're not great. Teal Mask Agropon EX is pretty good, honestly. But I mean, you can see what it does in standard. It's good. But then Hydrapple EX is like the same thing, but it's a stage 2, and the ability is probably worse as well. But now we have the new Meganium here, which doubles grass energy, basic grass energy. So it doesn't stack or anything, but it allows you to, have a bunch more energy on the board and do a bunch more damage. Also, I don't know what the Zarude does. I'm not gonna lie. Also, I can't spell. Okay, apparently this is Zarude from Surging Sparks. Oh yeah, this one, which is 160 for 3, which is okay. But anyways, then you also have the new Stadium Vitality Forest. Vitality Forest is super strong here because it says that you can just evolve your grass Pokemon the turn you play them down, or the turn you play them down, or the turn you evolve them as well. So you could, so we don't see Rare Candy, so you could play the Dipplin, and you can play the Hydrapple EX right on top of that. And same thing with the Meganium line. You can play Chikorita, Bayleaf, I think, and then Meganium. You can just play those the turn you play them, except for turn 1, so you're not getting these crazy turn 1 combos. But this is really nice for, I guess, smoothing things out. It's not like it's seamless or easy to set up, but you have what's called a bug catching set, right? Bug catching set, which allows you to get the grass Pokemon from your deck into your hand. Some of them you look at the top, as well as grass energy. So that's really nice there. And you can get value immediately from it. You can also use Max Vow to get a lot of those cards back as well. So overall, a really fun deck. This one, again, as I said, I'm not talking about like, I mean, I talked about some very good decks, but I'm talking about some not as good decks here as well. But I think these are really fun decks. Tell me down below in the comments what your thoughts are on the new set and how it's going to interact with these like fun rogue. Some of them are rogue decks, some of them aren't. Some of them are like good decks, obviously. And tell me if there are any other cards here that I didn't talk about that you think are very meaningful impacts to other decks, and if there are other decks you want me to talk about. But I hope you enjoyed. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit the bell, all that good stuff. And as always, I'm excited to see you in the next video.